Hello, very good afternoon to you all. Can you all hear me? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you see the presentation slides clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Then once again, very good evening to you all. And again, I welcome you to the OLS University, to these respective faculties and to the degree program. I am Dr. Prasad Mahindaratna, attached to Department of Export Agriculture, Faculty of Animal Science and Export Agriculture. And this evening, I have been given a task to you to deliver a short speech on uh, a particular the subject to give sort of a understanding and motivation for you to go through this to start with your the academic programs. So that there I put the title of this speech or this presentation as preparing for a planned journey. That is the title of the speech or the presentation. And of course, why I put this particular title is that you just started a very new journey, very fresh journey, as well as a very critical and very important journey in your life, right? And next, the 4 year time going to be a very critical time period, and that is basically going to shape your the future, right? Will shape your future so that if it is so, it's very vital for us to plan this 4 years time. And of course, for instance, you may think that the 4 years is a very long time period. Of course, after you get into this thing and you will realize that it is not that long. This time period will fly very quickly. Right? So that within that time period, you have to acquire, you have to achieve, and you have to celebrate the things. Definitely, those things are going to make a big impact in your the life. So that in the very first day, even from the very first day, these 4 years, you have to plan this thing uh, according to your dreams and your vision in your the life. Right? As we know that for any given human being, any sensible given human being should have the objective of life, should have a purpose of life, should have a vision of life. For instance, simply speaking, I must have a vision. For instance, in times to come, I want to be something, someone like this. Right? I want to have these things. Right? We do have such dreams or objectives or vision in love, the life. Right? It's very important for us to have these things. Otherwise, we are just like the kite without a string. We do not know where we going to end up with. So that it's a very the vital thing for us to plan this 4 years time. So that what I'm going to discuss with you is to give you a sort of a the understanding and motivation for you to think about your plan and to support you to plan your next 4 years time and uh, encourage you or to motivate you to make a good plan and to achieve your the goals in your the life. And firstly, I would say that you are very privileged, the people, but you are very privileged youngsters. Why I recognize you as a very privileged youngsters? There are so many reasons, right? For instance, if we take Sri Lanka, the primary education, there are going to be about 2.8 million children enroll to grade one education each year, nearly uh, uh, 30 lakhs or 2.8 million every year get enrolled into school education system. And out of which about 1.5 to 2 million only will proceed to the secondary education. Only 1.5 to 2 million only will proceed to the secondary education. That is somewhere around 53% to 71% out of the total school enrollment. And then that is to the secondary education and to the higher education. Right? Only 300,000 or 400,000 students will qualify to get enter into the higher education. That is about 10 to 14% of our total school enrollment. It's a very low number. Only 10 to 15% only will proceed up to the higher education. Right? And then if we look at university education, uh, annually we absorb, our university system absorb only nearly 40,000 students. Right? If we see this as a percentage of total enrollment to the school education, only 1% will have the opportunity to get into a university system out of the total school enrollment. So that it's a very rare the chance, very rare opportunities, right? And that's why I said that you are very privileged, the people. You have gone through this primary education and you have proceeded to the secondary education, and then you have complete your higher education, and now you have got an opportunity to get enrolled into the national university. Right? And then even out of this national university, you have been particularly, you have been specifically selected for this OLS university, and there we actually absorb only 1,300 to 1,600 students annually, right? That is, it's about only 3% out of the total the national university entrance. There again, you have been selected, you have been fortunate to come to this beautiful, nice university. And so that this is, of course, one reason uh, for me to recognize you as a very privileged people. You must be proud of yourself. And this one very important lesson or important thing I just want to stress you is that appreciation of self, self appreciation, appreciation your achievement, your capabilities, your abilities, your skill. Self appreciation is a very vital and very important thing. And any given successful human being, any person has this particular quality. First, you have to appreciate yourself, then only you will learn how to appreciate the others. So that now, so that you are very privileged, the group of the youth, and you have been to get into the national university system. And then this university education, I just want to uh, explain something about this university life or the university education or uni life. Why is that? Is of course a transition. So it's a sort of a transition period. So they are going to have different transition through this period. So that first we have to understand this thing, and then it will be very easy for us to go through this transition, go through this transformation, and that would be very comfortable and convenient for you to go through this transition. First one is that you are basically coming from the home. So what do you mean by a home? It's a very stable and predictable environment. We know that in a home, we know what is happening, what's going to be there, what is around us. Everything we know that. So it's a very stable and very predictable. We know what is going to happen, and they are going to be lot of routine, the regular interaction with the family members, so that in nutshell, it's a very convenient and very comfortable uh, the place, right? And you are coming from that place to a university. So, what is this university? It's of course university life is offers lots of the other things. For instance, it's independence. You are now very independent, and nobody chasing behind you, right? So that you got to get a deal of freedom and the independence and specialization in a subject wise and other the ways you can do specialization. And then this is going to be, of course, it's a universe. This is going to be a diverse environment. All sections of the people, as far as the economic background is concerned, then the religion, the other social the background. It's a good mixture, a diverse social group. And here, eventually, you enjoy a lot of freedom, the flexibility, managing your own time, making your own decision, right? setting your personal goals. These are the things is available in the university life. So that in nutshell, I would say that it's a very independent and it offers a greater deal of freedom for you, right? I'm pretty sure that you didn't get that much of a freedom or that much of a independence in your the home. So that this is going to be very big thing, very big transition. So that you have to understand this and uh, you have to enjoy this independence and this the freedom very carefully and very responsibly. But it's a very vital and very important thing. And then during the until you get enter to the university, right? In your school education, there we recognize you as a children, right? Children are generally considered dependent uh, and are under the legal, the what we call legal guardianship or the under take care of someone, elders. That may be parents, that may be caregivers, right? That is the children. Uh, in a school education, what we could find is the children. But when it comes to university, you are no longer the children. Now you are adult, right? You are adult. So as the adults are typically considered to have reached maturity and can capable of making independent decisions. It's a very critical and very important thing. You are now matured so that you can make independent decisions. In that case, again, you have to be very responsible and you have to be very careful and you have to be very mindful when you are making your the decision. So this again another very important transition we could find from this through this university the life. And another thing, and even we have some experience about these things. How we are going to compare this school education and the university education is totally different. But school education is highly structured and there's a very set curriculum and basically focus on both general education and teachers provide you the guidance and supervision, everything. Now, in one word, we could say that it's a spoon feeding, that you are given everything what you need to know. Right? That is the school education system. But in university, you cannot expect that spoon feeding. No teacher will tell you everything. That sort of a thing will not happen in the university. Right? We are not having the teaching session. We do having the lectures. Right? So that in university education, it's a less structured with students having freedom to choose their specialization. For instance, for in many of your degree programs, you can specialize what you want, right, in a particular area. Right? Specialized courses designed for academic path and while being expected to take responsibility on learning and teaching. It is up to you to learn things, right? It is up to you to do the research, right? University system, the lecturers, supervisors, and all the people will guide you, and it is up to you to learn, and it is up to you to practice these things, and it is up to you to do research and accumulate the knowledge. This is again very vital thing I just want to stress is that because some student will find it difficulties in this transition. They expected the sort of a school education system within the university. That it will not happen. Particularly, the lecturers will basically the guidelines. They will show you the path, and then you have to go through this path, and you have to explore the things. Right? You have to find the thing. You have to find the knowledge. And that is at the university, the education. So that these transitions are very vital for you to understand these things. And accordingly, if you are very mindful about this, if you know about this transition, then it would be very easy for you to adapt to this transition without any the problem or without any inconvenience or without any difficulty. Right. And then again, as I mentioned, the university life is the most critical period of your life. Right? Why is that? Why it is so critical? Yeah, I can give you lots of the examples or a lot of evidences to prove that it is the most critical period of your life. And this transition to the adulthood, that is, as I mentioned, you are no longer the children's, now you are adult. So in university life, you experience this transition to the adulthood. And then you're expecting your personal growth, right, in the university life. And then you wanted, you will dream, I want to become so and so, and I have to have this thing, I need these possessions, right? There you will develop your the personal, the growth. And career development, a career is the one you are going to select in your the life. What is your career and how you are going to develop your career? It's again a very important thing, that is again going to be developed, shaped during your the university the life. And skill development, life skill development is a very vital thing. The life skill, it is not just the knowledge. The skill is very vital thing, very important. So there you are going to acquire. They are going to develop this very important, very critical life skill through this university life. And again, another very critically important thing is the social and networking opportunity. You will get plenty of social and networking opportunity. Of course, you cannot even think of this sort of a socialization, this much of a networking anywhere else. Right? There are lots of different diverse group of people from different disciplines, different subjects, different ethnic categories, different religions, different social classes, different behavioral the patterns, lots of things. There are a very diverse group of people. So there you have a wonderful opportunity to be socialized and develop the network. These things going to be very vital for your the life. And again, exploration and identity formation. This again a very critical thing, very important. What do you mean by this? Identity formation is that there you as a self must have an identity, right? You must have an the plan. You must have an understanding whom I am going to be. This is my identity, right? So this is the period. This is the period of life where you are going to explore and develop your the identity. Right? Explore and develop your identity, and you are going to get you are going to put the foundation for your the identity through this university, the education. And then out of all these things, there are going to be a lot of challenges in this university life, emotional and psychological the challenges, right? Emotional and psychological challenges. For instance, very simple reason is that since you want to experience that much of these the emotional and psychological challenges, because right now you are at your home, but after you come to the university and start your life physically at the university, and there are going to be some emotional and psychological challenges because you are apart or you are away from your the home, right? You are the family and your convenient environment, and you have in a new environment with the new group of people, right? And at the same time, you have to go through this education process, and there are going to be lots of studies and activities you have got involved in. Right? In this setup, there are going to be a lot of emotional and psychological challenges, and uh, so that handling these things is very important, and you don't need to worry about these things because there are lots of the process and people for you to take care of you, right? From the academic staff, and even there are specialized student counselors, senior student counselors, and lots of people are there to take care of you, right? So that because of this reason, we call the university life is the most critical period of your life, and eventually it determines your the future, whom you are going to be. Right? It's a very critical and very important thing. And at the same time, as I mentioned you, for a sensible the person, there should be a goal in their life. There should be vision in their life, right? So that if we look at what are the different goals, so what are the typical goal of the person, they are going to have lots of the goal, different goals in the life, and these are the list of typical goals one can have in the life. For instance, particularly relevant to the university education, academic achievement. You may be thinking of, right, I just want to complete this degree with good the merit. Right, there you wanted to get the first class or the second class upper or the second class lower, and even the general the pass. So that these are the different levels of achievement. So that you must have an academic achievement goal, where you are going to be ended up after the 4 years time. And then personal development goals, how you are going to develop the personality, your personal development. Lots of things we have to think of as far as the personal development is concerned. Your personality, your communication, your teamwork, your leadership skills, your emotional skills, your empathy, lots of things you have to develop over the period of time to be a good, uh, uh, good the person, very stable person. This personal development, so that you must have this personal development goal in your the life and your career. With all these things, we want to get into a particular career, you have to develop that career. For instance, suppose that you do have an dream. After completion of this the degree program, you want to become a lecturer. Right? You want to get into this academic the field. That is your career, and there you can have the goals in your life. For instance, suppose that after completion of this the degree program, uh, if you completed with good grade, then there will be opportunity for you to get into the university the system, right? As a lecturer. So suppose that one to have that career path to become an academician, right? And then with time to become a professor and the senior professor. So these are the career goals. Career goals one can have. Just an example. So that in that way you must have a career goal in your uh, in this the particular period. And again, very vital to have financial goals. How you are going to be uh, financially stable and financially uh, fit. But there you must have an financial the goals in your life, and relationship and social goals in your life, your personal relationship, your social relationship, and the recognition you are expecting from the society, right? Social goals. There in that way, there you can have relationship and social goals in your the life, and then in your the family again, you must have, or you may be having some goals, the family goals, the family members expecting different things from you, right? There we have to fulfill those things also. Towards the family, for instance, we may have some obligation, we may have some responsibilities towards our family. Those are again going to be our the goals. And lifestyle goals, what sort of a lifestyle uh, you are expecting to have, right? They are again can have lifestyle goals. And then, and on top of all these things, there can be a spiritual and the physiological goals in your the life, right? You may be the following different the religions, and according to this religions, there are spiritual and philosophical attainment in the life, so that there accordingly you can have this spiritual and uh, physiological, philosophical the goals in you the life. And again, another very important thing we call contribution goal. That is your obligation, your responsibility, your service or your duty towards your community, towards the country, towards the world. Is again very vital, and it's very important goal. So these are the different types of the goals you can have in your life, right? So that in this particular juncture, you are in a very new life, so that it's very important for you to reflect on this thing, to have goals on these things, right? If you do have a goal with the milestone, then there is a high possibility for you to achieve this goal, right? So suppose that without a goal, we cannot achieve anything. Right? Without a goal, we cannot achieve anything. So it's very vital, very important for you to have this goal. And again, to be a very rounded person, right? Very complete person, there you must have all these goals. Right? Some people we know that they do have the career goals and the financial goals only. Right? They wanted to do a job and they want to have a decent salary, good salary, and then to have a good vehicle and the other the utilities, other facilities, physical things only. Right? They are not really worrying about the relationship. They are not really worrying about the family. They are not really worrying about the contribution towards the community, country, and the world. That is again uh, uh, very negative type of the approach to a life. So that it's very important for you to reflect on this thing and to have your goals along with these different the categories of the goals. Right. And then suppose we set our goals in your life, right? I'll share this presentation slide with you, and then you can go through this the goals, and there you can have your the goals in different categories, right? What is your academic goal? What is your personal development goal? What is your career goal? Financial goal, the relationship and social goals. What are your family goals, lifestyle, spiritual and philosophical, and then the contribution goal. There you can have different goals for you to achieve in your life. Right. Suppose that you set up your goals according to these different categories. Now, to realize this goal, to achieve this goal, to materialize this goal, what do you have to do? How we are going to achieve this? What needed to achieve the set goals? It's a very vital thing. It's a very important thing, right? So that particularly this university education will give you the necessary uh, component, the necessary the materials for you to achieve this goal, right? To achieve this goal. So that what are these things you can get through this university education? First and foremost thing is the knowledge. Right? Knowledge is the understanding, awareness, or familiarity about it, about a thing, about a process, or about a person. That is a very simple definition for knowledge. So that in this education, this university education, there it's the place where you to get this the knowledge, to accumulate this knowledge, right, and to acquire this knowledge. And even not only acquiring knowledge, university is a place where create the knowledge. Right? It's a place where create the knowledge. For instance, by doing research, what we are doing is the creation of knowledge, new knowledge. Right? This is again a very vital thing. So that somehow the knowledge is one very important component, important ingredient for you to achieve the goals what we discussed. And again, it's a very important thing. The knowledge itself, or the knowledge only, cannot support you to achieve this goal. Right? Along with this knowledge, it's very vital thing for you to have a skill. Right? And so that skill acquisition is again a very vital thing, a very important thing in the university education as a process. Right? What do you mean by a skill? Skills are the abilities and expertise that a person develops through a practice, training, and experience, enabling them to perform a particular task. Okay? For instance, in knowledge, there uh, you may be aware about something, but if you are to do this thing, if you are to practically to do this thing, you have to have the skills, right? You can learn lots of things as theory, but if you cannot put this thing into practice, then there is no use of the knowledge. So the skill is a very important thing that gives you that ability and expertise to perform a particular task. Right? So skill acquisition is a very vital and very important aspect in university education, right? Knowledge and the skills. And there are people with knowledge and skills, but still those people, their contribution, they are going to be a problem of their contribution towards the country, towards the family, or towards to the society, towards the world. There are some questionable things. Right? Very educated people, very skilled people, but they are doing some, for instance, they are harming for maybe the environment, maybe to the people, maybe to the neighbors, right? Maybe to the nature, right? Then what is lacking there? They do have the knowledge and they do have skills, but the way they are using this knowledge and skill is not very appropriate or not very appreciable, right? So that to get rid of these things, it's very important to have the attitude, the correct attitude, positive attitude. So what do you mean by attitude? Attitude refers to a person's settled way of thinking or feeling about something, typically reflected in their behavior. Actually, attitudes is a reflection of your behavior. The attitude is, simply speaking, it is how you are going to think about or feel about something. So for instance, suppose that how do you feel about the environment? How do you feel about clean water? How do you feel about the clean air? Right? So that is, suppose that if you do have a very positive the feeling, thinking about a clean environment, then you will never spoil the environment. You will never degrade the environment. Right? You will never pollute the environment if you do have that correct attitude. So that it's very vital to have this correct attitude. Right? And again, about the university students or the graduates, there are lots of criticism and there are lots of claims from the private sector employers. That is, their main claim is that they say that they do have the knowledge, they do have the skills, but they don't have the correct attitude. Right? So it's a very critical thing. It's a very important thing for us to reflect on this. Right? Some people, they do have the good knowledge. They got past the university education or with some class, upper the first class, and they have acquired good amount of skills as well. But if they get into a workplace, since there are attitudinal problems, organization will not get the full benefit of that from that person. So they, because of this thing, the attitude is very important thing. Right? So that there in your university education, there you have to think about all these acquisition of the knowledge, developing your skills, and shaping your attitude. Right? Acquiring the knowledge, developing skills, and shaping your attitude. These are very vital and very important thing, and you have to have a good balance, good delicate balance between all these aspects. Right? And then the university, our degree programs has been developed in such a way for you to acquire all these things. Right? There are lots of activities related to give you the required knowledge. There are lots of activities designed to give you the required skills, and there are ample amount of opportunities for you to shape your attitude, to correct your attitude, or to develop your attitude. So that my appeal is that there you have to think about these things, not only acquiring the knowledge, not only acquiring the skills, and there you have to develop the attitude. Because this is the biggest claim we used to get from the private sector, that is the problematic the attitudes, or they are not the positive attitudes, the correct attitude. So that they are, if you are sensible about these things at the very beginning, then you can concentrate on this thing and you can develop these the areas, right? And then I'll quickly go through this education process within our university, and there how we are going to give you this knowledge, skills, and attitude. How we are going to impart this knowledge, skills, and attitudes to our undergraduates. Right? What are the different activities in which we are going to imparting the knowledge, skills, and attitudes for our undergraduates. So there are in this university entire process, there are different activities. For instance, there are basically all these activities you got involved in within the university. There we can categorize these activities into three categories. First one we call curricular activities, that is the activities related to your curriculum, the curricular activities. And there again, they are going to be co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities. Right? So what is this? The curricular activities is the curricular activities are structured educational activities that are an integral part of the formal education program, formal education system. They are delivering the curriculum. For instance, you are going to have lectures, practicals, field visits, the trainings, then the research, then the assessment. There are going to be lots of things. Those things are directly relevant to the academic program, to the curricula. Right? By going through these curricular activities, what we are expecting is to give you the knowledge, basically the knowledge, right? And then certain skills and certain amount of attitudes. Right? Largely to give you the knowledge, then the skills and the attitude. Going through this curricular process, you will acquire these things. And then co-curricular activities, those are the co-curricular activities are those that complement and enhance the curriculum. Right? Those are not directly through the curricula, but still these are relevant or complement related to academic activities to the curricula. In curricular activities, අපි කියන විෂයානුබද්ධ ක්‍රියාකාරකම්. co-curricular activities කියන්නේ විෂයානුබද්ධ activities වලට අපි කියන co-curricular activities කියන extra curricular කියන්නේ විෂය පරිබාහිර. Right? Co-curricular activities under which what we are going to the experience, what are the activities you will expose to in your undergraduate programs are there are going to be lots of academic clubs and societies, and not general the societies. They are going to be academic, the clubs and societies in our university, and there are going to be different research groups. There will be conferences and workshops related to the academic activities. There are going to be professional associations, and there will be a career development training and the leadership training. These are the co-curricular activities that will give you support for the curriculum activity. So that by engaging in this co-curricular activity, what we are going to achieve? Basically, largely, you are going to get skills through this co-curricular activity while you get the knowledge as well as the attitudes. Right? Largely, we expect you to develop the skills by going through this the co-curricular activities, and again you can shape your attitudes as well as you are going to get certain amount of knowledge by getting involved in this co-curricular activities. And then extracurricular activities, those activities do not have a direct connection to your curriculum. Extracurricular activities are those pursued outside of the standard academic curriculum. They are not directly linked to academic learning, but are important for overall personal development. It's a very important thing, right? It's a very important thing. Even though we can have lots of qualification, paper qualification, and all these things, but there are plenty of examples. There are very qualified, very educated people doing big harm to the society. Right? Why is that? They do not have the correct attitude. Right? They are lacking in their personal development. They do have a problem of their personal development. So because of this, in this extracurricular activity, it's a very vital and very important area where you have to think of what are these extracurricular activities. So of course, in times to come, you may get to know about these. And for instance, very first thing you had the talent show. That it's a extracurricular activity, and perhaps we can consider this as a co-curricular activity as it is related to your integration program. Somehow, the different sub activities you got involved in this talent show. For instance, a musical item or the drama or some other the presentation or some even some arrangement for those things. By getting involved in this thing, you are going to learn lots of things. Right? Basically, we are expecting you to develop your correct attitude by engaging in this the extracurricular activities. Of course, there's a possibility for you to develop your skills, to shape your skills, as well as you get some knowledge to a certain extent. Right? So this is the academic process you will undergo in next 4 years time, and by going through these things sensibly, then you can get that required knowledge, skills, and the attitude. Right? So that to be a very complete person, very successful person, you have to have all these things, the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude. So that it's very vital and it's very important for you to go through this activity. Right? Go through this activity. Do not just concentrate on the academic activities only. It's very vital and very important to get concentrate on academic activities. But what I'm appealing is that do not undermine or do not undermine or get involved in the other activities, because the skill and attitude development is a very vital and very important thing in this entire the education process. So that when there is an opportunity, definitely go and grab that opportunity, make use of that opportunity. Right? Definitely, there are going to be some payback. Right? There are going to be some payback by involving this activity. Right? In times to come, you will get to know about these things and you will expose to these different activities. By that time, you should be able to remember the things what we discussed today, right? Not only the knowledge, I have to get involved in this thing because I am going to acquire some other important things. For instance, that may be a skill, that may be shaping your attitude. Right? This is a very vital and very important thing for you to keep in the mind. Right. And with this thing, I just want to brief you about what is the world expecting from you. Right? What is the world expecting from you after 4 years' time? you are an undergraduate. Sorry, graduate. Right? You are a graduate. So what the society, the employers expecting from you? Yeah, we call 21st century graduates. What are the 21st century skills? Right? So these are the things are being valued as 21st century skills, so that after going through your academic process, this 4 years time, you should be able to have these skills. Right? And what are those skills? Critical thinking. Right? The critical thinking skills, citizenship. It's a very vital thing. Right? Citizenship is respectfully and positively impacting the others. Right? How we are going to how your life going to impacting on the others positively and respectively. The citizenship. It's a very vital thing for you to develop. And growth mindset. Right? Not negative mindset. You must have a growth mindset. Every time you want to go a step ahead. Right? That is a very important thing, a very vital skill for a 21st century graduate. You are not thinking, I can't do this thing. Right? I do not have this thing. That sort of negative things are not there. You have every time a very positive way of thinking, right? So that you have a very good development, the growth mindset. Right? And then another vital thing, the communication skills, and we cannot undermine this thing to any level. Communication is going to be a very, very important skills, so that after, suppose that you are not really good in public speaking, right? You are not perhaps you are not really good in writing, right? Or you are not really good in some other form of communication, right? Now you understand these things, so that you have a 4 years time for you to develop these communication skills, and there are plenty of opportunities and the programs for you to go through this thing and develop your communication skills, right? So that it is up to you to make use of these opportunities and develop your communication skills. And creativity, a very vital thing, a very important thing, and how we are going to think differently, right? How we are going to develop new ideas, new concepts. That is the creativity. Creativity is very important thing, because through the creativity only we develop new things, so innovations. These innovations are very important for economic development, and in not only economic development, in solving problems. But when we are living in this world, every day, every minute, we face different problems. So to solve this problem, sometimes the approach would not be strong enough, would not be good enough. So that creatively we have to solve this problem. So that this creativity is a very vital and very important thing for you to develop in your life, and is a very important characteristic of a 21st century graduate. So it's a component of 21st century skills. And then the collaboration. The collaboration is working independently, but but with others, right? But with others, collaborating is the working independently, learning from and contributing the learning of the others. Right? Collaboration is not depending on someone else. So you are independent, but learning by contributing and working with others. So that quality, that skill is a very vital thing. So that you reflect on these things, right? And you have to think, you can have a self-reflection. Am I a critical thinker? Do I have the citizenship skills? Do I have the growth mindset? How about my communication skills? Do I have the creativity, or am I a collaborative person? So it's a very important for you to have a self-reflection on this thing. And if I am not really good in a particular area, then again, this is a high time for you to correct this. And this is a high time for you to develop that skills. Right. So that with all these things, what you have to have is planning your career ladder, right? In first year, the second year, third year, the fourth year, after graduation, after 5 years of graduation, after 10 years of graduation, where you wanted to be, right? That is your career, the path. And then it's very vital for you to have the plan, right? Otherwise, we do not know what will happen to us after 4 years' time. Right? We say the future is uncertain. We do not know what will happen in the future, but still there are ways to uh, uh, have a certain future. We call future is uncertain, but still we can have a certain future. How we can have this one? In that case, we have to create the future. Right? If we allow the future to happen, we do not know what will happen. But if we create the future, right, as we wish, then we do have an assurance that my future going to be like this, because I developed this thing. If we let others to develop our future, then it's a great uncertainty. We do not know what will happen in the future. So that it's very vital, very important for you to plan your career, the ladder. So the main essence I am delivering you to have the plan. And of course, there will be lots of programs and lots of support for you to develop this thing. And for instance, to develop your what we call the portfolio. Right? In undergraduate courses and degree program, there you will develop your the career portfolio, and there you are going to have all these things, right? Short term, medium term, and long term the goals, and then the plans to achieve this. Of course, we can have the goals in our life, but if we do not have a plan, if we do not have the activities, these goals will not realize. Then those goals going to be there in the books, or they are in the paper only. To materialize these things, we have to practice. We have to implement these things. Right. So that is a very important proverb. It says, fail to plan mean plan to fail. Suppose that today you fail to plan mean you have planned to fail. Right? අපේ සිංහලෙන් කියන්න පුළුවන් අපි සැලසුම් කරනවට සැලසුම් කිරීමට අසමත් වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අසමත් වීම සඳහා සැලසුම් කරනවා කියන දේ. සැලසුම් කිරීම සඳහා අසමත් වීම සමාන වෙනවා අසමත් වීම සඳහා සැලසුම් කිරීම. So that is a very vital, very important thing. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Right. And again, with this, the discussion, another very two important things I just want to highlight here, particularly in our the university, particularly relevant to our university. In our university, in all these degree programs, in all these activities, there are very two important aspects we highlight. Right? That is, first one is the value addition. Right? Value addition. What do you mean by value addition? Value addition refers to the process of enhancing or improving something to increase its worth or usefulness. Right? How we are going to increase the worth or usefulness of, that may be a process, that may be a person, that may be material. Right? Then we recognize this as a value addition, so that all our degree programs have been designed in such a way to promote this, the value addition, to add the value. Even these in our division statement, right? The ULS vision statement, if you could remember this thing, is to be the center of excellence for value addition to the national resources. Right? So that is our mandate, that is our vision. So that all our degree programs, all our students, all the lecturers should contribute to add value to natural resources. Right? Or to add value, or to increase the worth or usefulness of these resources. So it's a very important thing you have to bear in mind. And then entrepreneurship, very the vital thing. And there again, in all our degree programs, in our all the activities, entrepreneurship is one very important thing we are stressing. Right? Entrepreneurship is the process of starting or running a new business, often with the goal of making a profit. So that we are promoting, or we wanted to have entrepreneurial graduates. Right? We are not expecting our graduates to pass out and hunt for job, to go after for job, or to have demonstrations asking the job. It is not our expectation. Right? So we want our graduates to be entrepreneurs and to create job for others. That our the graduate should not be job hunters, they must be job creators. Right? They should create jobs for the society. It's a very logical thing. Think about the national university system. We are taking only 1% out of total school enrollment. So, and for that 1%, we are spending a lot of money. That is taxpayers' money. By doing all these things, what we are expecting from that small group of people is to not to compete for job with the others, with other 99%. Right? This 1% should be the job creators. Right? They should create job for that other 99%. Right? But unfortunately, what we could see today is that graduate after passing these degrees, they go and work under someone, that person perhaps do not have even O-level education. Right? Sometimes not the past advanced level education. These graduates go and work under those people. Right? This is not something we are expecting, because you are the cream of the society. Right? So that you must develop, you must create job opportunities for others. That is your mandate. That is the requirement. If this happen in a big way, then we would be able to find solution for many of the problem right now the country is facing. Right? Bearing this thing in mind, the value addition and entrepreneurship is a very fundamental aspect in our degree programs. Right. And with this thing, I'll quickly will take you through a very, for instance, the calculation. Right. There are some values: 50,000 into 12, 600,000. Then the 600,000 into 30, 18 million. Then the 600,000 into 20 again, 12 million, altogether 30 million. So 30 million means 300 lakhs. What are these figures? Actually, these are the average government servant salary. Okay? Average government servant salary going to be somewhere around 50,000. Suppose one person work for government. So annually is going to get 600,000. 50,000 into 12. And suppose that person work for 30 years. His the service is 30 years. Then he is going to get 600,000 into 30, 18 million. Right? And then suppose that person enjoy another 20 years of retirement. Right? For that thing, 600 into 20 is going to get 12 million. Right? And after 50 years of service, he is going to get 30 million. After 50 years of service, he is going to get 30 million or 300 lakhs. Perhaps you may see that this is the large sum of money. Okay, we'll go to the next the calculation. That is, this is relevant to the private sector salary. For the private sector employee, the average salary 100,000. In that case, annually is going to get 1.2 million. In 30 years of service, he is going to get 36 million. Usually, these people do not have pensions or the retirement, but still they do have EPF, ETF, and other payment gratuity. Suppose that he got another 36 million. Altogether, after 20 years of service, he is going to get 72 million. Is going to get 72 million. It's almost double the earnings of the average government servant. That is a comparison of the government servants and the private sector employees. Right? And after 50 years of the service, they are the earnings. Right? But if we go to the scenario, the situation, that is highest paid private sector employee in the country. Of course, these the figures are outdated. The average salary is more than that, 12 million. Now it is more than that. What do you mean by 12 million? That is 12 lakh. This person earn monthly 12 million. Right? For 120 lakhs, the 12 million. Right? So that's average monthly salary 12 million. Monthly, this is not yearly, this monthly. For 1 month, he is going to get 12 million. And then 3 months is going to go 36 million. And within 6 months, he is going to get 72 million. Now, look at these figures. Just compare this thing with the average government the sector, the employee, and the average private sector employee. He's the highest paid private sector employee, right? He earns 36 million within 3 months. Right? 36 million within 3 months. It is more than the sum of money earned by a average government servant after serving 50 years of service. Right? Average government servant spent 50 years to get that sum of money, but this person get that thing within 3 months. Right? See the difference. And then within 6 months, is going to get 72 million. This is the sum of the salary got by average private sector employee after serving 50 years. Right? He spent 50 years to get 72 million. This person within the 6 months, he get that 72 million. So can you imagine? Can you imagine the situation? So this is the reality. That's why we call in the private sector, we say the sky is the limit. There's no limit for your salary. If you are capable, and if you are talented, if you are skillful, if you are creative, you will get a good salary. Right? So that now you can have the comparison between the government sector and the private sector. Right? Anyhow, all these all these people we consider they are employees or working under someone. Right? Working under someone. They are not entrepreneurs. They are working under someone, employees. Right. Then we go to another extreme, that is Sri Lanka's richest businessman in annual income in 2021. Right. This is the richest person annual income situation. Annual income in USD terms, American dollars, 1 billion. Annually he is earning. These are his income, not the profit. This is his total earning. By deducting the expenditure, he is going to get his profit. Somehow, this is his worth. We call his value. 1 billion US dollars annually. Right? So that if we convert this into a Sri Lankan rupees, 365 Sri Lankan rupees billion. Those are billions. Right. To make it easy, we convert this into millions, then it is going to be 365,000 millions per year. Right? Then if we divided this by 365, that is number of days per day is going to get 1,000 million per day, 1,000 million. And then per hour, 41 million, per minute, 7 lakh. So think about the potential, right? Think about the potential. This the earning potential is so high. They are the entrepreneurs, not working under someone. Right? There you can have a reflection on this thing. You can have an idea about this. Right? And these businessmen are very important because they create the wealth. They create employment to the others. They develop these products and services to the society. So that it's a very vital thing. It's a very important thing for us to promote the entrepreneurs. Every one of us should think of, I don't need to be just an employee working under someone. I want to start my own business, right? And give employment to the others. It's a very vital and it's a very important thing. That is, of course, a lacking area in our country. In our country, as per my the assessment, what we do have, the main problem what we have in our country is we are consuming more than what we are producing. Right? Once again, we are consuming more than what we are producing. That's why we have to get loans and all these things. Right? If we produce the things, right? If you promote the entrepreneurship and if you produce the thing, the whole problem will be resolved. And we do have a huge economic problem, and based on this economic problem only, we experience other things. For instance, political problem, cultural, religious, social, all these things are there because people do not have decent income to have a decent life. If the people do have a decent income and decent life, and they are not doing any harmful thing, right? That is the very the basic assumption. So that what I wanted to stress you is that to reflect on these things, and in our you may experience this thing throughout our lectures and all activities. We are stressing you that promoting entrepreneurship is a very vital and very important thing. Right. So with that thing, you have to think of, you have to reflect on these things, and you have to think, what do you need? Do you want to be an government employee? Do you want to be an average private sector employee, or you want to be a top rank private sector employee, or you want to be an entrepreneur? Right? The decision is up to you. Right. And that is what do you need? But if we look at what the countries need, for instance, these the country's business profile. In our country, there are about 1 million micro businesses, we call informal businesses, and there are about 74,000 small businesses, employees between 1 to 9. Then the medium business about 11,000, employees 10 to 49. Large businesses about 2,400 from employees 49 to the 30. So this is the country profile, business profile. So of course, it's a very small country. Large businesses, there are only 2,400 large businesses. Medium business, 11,000. Small business, 74,000. Micro businesses or the informal business, for instance, the lottery vendors, beetle vendors, or the street vendors, those people, we usually do not recognize them as a formal business entities, right? But still there are 1 million, right? And then for a country to run an economy, it's vital to have at least 3 to 5% of entrepreneurs, right? There should be at least 3 to 5% of entrepreneurs to run an economy in a healthy way, right? If we calculate our situation, right? In the state, if it is 3 to 5%, Sri Lankan population 22 million, so that there should be at least 700,000 entrepreneurs, right? But what we have right now, as I mentioned, micro business we do not consider as entrepreneurs, so that the rest, small, medium, and large business can be considered as entrepreneurial business activity. So if we sum up all these three categories, they are going to be only 88,400 entrepreneurs. Our requirement is 700,000. So the balance, still we need around 600,000 entrepreneurs. So the 6 times as we had. So actually, this is the problem of this country. Right? If somebody want to develop this country, if somebody want to recover the present economic crisis, and if somebody wants to assure that this sort of things will not happen in the future, the only solution is to promote the entrepreneurship, right? Still, right now we do have to have another 600,000 entrepreneurs, or 6 lakhs. Right? ව්‍යවසායකව තව ලක්ෂ 6ක්වත් අපි ඇති කරොත් තමයි අපේ රටේ තියෙන මේ ඉකොනොමික් ක්‍රයිසිස් එක අපිට తాවකාලිකව නෙවෙයි අපිට ස්ථීර වශයෙන්ම නැති කරන්න පුළුවන්. For that thing, that is the only solution. By doing any other things, we would not be able to resolve the problem. So that is very important for you to think of this thing again, and this very relevant time for you to think of this thing. And we are now the corner of this the election, and there again people place different things and say different things, but the countries, this is the requirement. If somebody is saying that they are going to promote the entrepreneurship and they are going to support the industries, that is going to be the most the feasible solution for our country's problem. And there again, these are some important information you have to keep in mind. We do have some of the recipient 1.7 million, 70 million. Then the government servant again 1.7 million, government servant again 1.7 million, private sector 4.6 million, and all labor force 8 million. These are the country, the situation. Right. So that with this speech, with this discussion, those are the basic things I just want to share with you and discuss with you. And my final message is that add value to yourself and add value to national resources. By going through this educational process, this fascinating journey, the next 4 years, what you have to do to add value to yourself and then add value to the national resources. Then, of course, we would be able to realize our university vision, and thereby we should be able to realize the vision of the country. Right? Okay. This all I just want to share with you and discuss with you. So that thank you very much for your the participation, your attendance, and then I do hope that you got something out of this discussion, and keep this thing in your mind and reflect on this thing and accordingly plan out your the life. And I take this opportunity for you to congratulate for your the forthcoming the academic career, and every one of you would be a very responsible, very productive human resource to our the country. And thank you very much.